Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and gives this video a thumbs up. Bachelor in Paradise returns with another dramatic episode as the season nears its conclusion. Who goes home in the most recent rose ceremony? Nancy and Faith Martin from The Golden Bachelor appeared on the beach in recent episodes. Nancy had an alleged drug-fueled rendezvous with Gary Livingston. Alicia Gupta arrived just in time to add to the drama between Kat and Dale during the bird-themed chemistry test. But Jeremy's surprising disclosure to Brian could jeopardize his relationship with Bailey. Bachelor in Paradise viewers are already aware that Jeremy has unresolved feelings for Susie Evans. The two had one date earlier in the season. But when it came time for the rose ceremony, Jeremy offered his rose to Bailey Brown. He later expressed regret about the decision and attempted to persuade Susie to return. She declined. Since then, Jeremy has told everyone but Bailey that he would give Susie another opportunity if he could. He revealed to Brian that he would propose to Susie in an instant if she returned to the beach. However, none of the contestants have told Bailey about Jeremy's lie. Last week's show did not have a rose ceremony. According to Reality Steve, the males will have their opportunity to hand out roses on Monday, August 4th. Nancy and Gary had an excellent time on their date. But he delivers his rose to another golden candidate, Leslie. Keith Gordon gives Kathy Swartz a rose despite claiming he has no romantic feelings for her. Kim gives Faith Martin a rose. The spoilers suggest that the majority of the younger couples remain unchanged following the most recent rose ceremony. Spencer Conley presents his rose to Jess Edwards, Dale Moss delivers his rose to Kat Izzo, and Brian gives a rose to Parisa. Most unexpectedly, Bailey Brown accepts Jeremy Simon's rose. The secret is either kept under wraps for another week, or she doesn't care that Jeremy is still obsessed with Susie. Andrew Spencer presents his rose to Alex Godin, Jonathan Johnson gives it to Leah Kayanen, and Sean McLaughlin gives it to Alicia Gupta. Reality Steve said that there are no new arrivals on the beach since Alicia arrived last week. Furthermore, the rose ceremonies are supposedly over for the season. Stay tuned to find out how participants are eliminated as they battle for a large cash reward. As the sun dipped low over the Playa Escondida horizon, the Bachelor in Paradise cast prepared for what could be the final rose ceremony of the season. Tension buzzed through the salty ocean breeze. The Palapas, once filled with laughter and margaritas, now held whispered confessions and long silences between couples trying to figure out what they were doing, and with whom. The beach had changed. Paradise was now purgatory. Nancy, the 61-year-old Golden Bachelor alum, wore a pink kaftan and carried herself with quiet poise. She'd had a whirlwind few days. Her impromptu and now infamous night with Gary Livingston had spread like wildfire among contestants, though producers curiously chose to keep most of it off camera. Nancy neither confirmed nor denied what had happened, only that it had been spiritual, spontaneous, and not for public consumption. Gary, however, seemed rattled. His demeanor had shifted from laid-back and flirtatious to solemn. And when it came time to hand out his rose, he didn't offer it to Nancy. He gave it to Leslie. Leslie's reaction was muted, part surprise, part calculation. She and Gary had barely spoken before. She accepted the rose, but her eyes wandered to Keith Gordon, who stood a few feet away, clearly irritated. Faith Martin, watching it all unfold, clutched her cocktail like a shield. She'd hoped for Gary's rose too, despite Kim's last-minute efforts to sweep her off her feet. Kim had done just enough, though. His rose to Faith kept her in the game. For now. Kathy Swartz, standing beside Keith, took the rose from him with raised eyebrows. "Even though you say we have no romantic connection," she whispered. Keith blinked. "You deserve to stay, Kat. Whether it's with me or someone else." Kathy rolled her eyes but nodded. "I'll take it. For now." Meanwhile, the younger contestants were navigating an entirely different storm. Alisha Gupta had arrived last week and shaken up the beach like a summer monsoon. She flirted with Sean McLaughlin and Dale Moss, laughed too loudly during the bird-themed chemistry test, and made sure Kat Izzo knew she was not to be underestimated. Kat, for her part, was spiraling. Her relationship with Dale was fraying, and Alicia's sudden presence ignited insecurities Kat thought she'd left behind in her bachelorette days. And Sean, after a lengthy walk down the beach with Alisha under the moonlight, handed her his. Parisa, calm and composed, received her rose from Brian. They weren't the most dramatic pair on the beach, but they were stable. He liked that she didn't care about screen time. She liked that he brought her pineapple slices every morning without being asked. They weren't flashy, but they were real. Spencer Conley and Jess Edwards continued to float through the season as Paradise's sweethearts. They had the kind of chemistry that didn't need storylines or producer interference. When Spencer gave his rose to Jess, it felt like an afterthought, as if he'd already given it to her the night they watched sea turtles hatch together in silence. Jonathan Johnson gave his rose to Leah Kayanen, citing her open heart and elevated spirit. Alex Godin, newcomer but crowd favorite, accepted Andrew Spencer's rose with a smile that made several of the other women look down at their feet. Andrew, who had been in a daze since week 3, seemed finally grounded. And then came Jeremy. Bailey Brown had stood tall and hopeful, though a knot had begun to form in her chest. Jeremy had been distant the past few days, even after their late-night swim in the cenote. She thought they'd shared something real. But Jeremy's eyes never truly met hers anymore. He'd been speaking in half-truths, using vague words like connection, growth, and timing. Still, when he called her name, she smiled and stepped forward. What she didn't know, what everyone else did, was that Jeremy had told Brian earlier that day that if Susie Evans returned to the beach, he'd propose to her. Not see what happens. Not talk it through. He said propose. And yet, Bailey, radiant and unknowing, took his rose like it was a promise. The secret rippled beneath the surface of the beach like an undertow, waiting to drag someone under. From now on, eliminations would be different, no more structured handouts. No more palm fronds hiding cue cards. The remaining cast members were told bluntly by Jesse Palmer the following morning, "You now have 72 hours to decide whether you leave here as a couple or alone. You can stay on the beach, but there will be no more roses. Only decisions." Nancy was the first to act. She pulled Gary aside with surprising confidence. "We're not doing this, Gary. Whatever happened, whatever didn't happen, that night. It's not the foundation of a future. You're confused. Thanks for watching. If you likes this video, do not forget to subscribe my channel and do not miss any update.